Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a demonstration as to how I edit my portraits. This will give you good insight as to what my workflow looks like, as well as how I bounce in between Lightroom and Photoshop. So let's get to it. Here we have the beautiful Kaylee Fuller, aka K-Fulls. I will link her Instagram down in the description box below. Looking at the histogram, it was exposed pretty decently, so I'll be making minor adjustments to this photo. And bring up exposure just a tiny bit, and I'm going to balance that out with a little bit of contrast. And now I'm going to bring up shadows a little bit to bring out a little more of that texture in her hair. I'm not a fan of the green color of the roof that's behind her. I'll scroll down to hue and see if I can make any adjustments to it. Go into saturation. I'm going to bring the yellows down a little bit and the greens a little bit, just to make the elements in the photo a little more cooler. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that. I don't really want to do too much in Lightroom. I'll do the rest in Photoshop. So I'm going to export it. And the reason why I start off with Lightroom is just because of its simplicity. It's easier to make minor adjustments, and I liked the cropping tool better than the one in Photoshop, so it's just easier. Okay, so we're now in Photoshop, and before I do any edits, I like to set up my workspace. Go to Window, New Window for this image, and then I will set them up side by side. This allows me to zoom in really closely and make edits, and then see the effects of my edits right next to it, instead of zooming in and zooming out, zooming back in, zooming back out. I made a copy of the original, and now I'm going to go in with the patch tool and remove blemishes from her skin as well as the hairs on her forehead. Moving on to dodging and burning, so this is to place more emphasis on the areas that are already bright and areas that are already dark. This process I learned from PiXimperfect here on YouTube. He has a way more in-depth tutorial on dodging and burning, which I will link down below in the description. So we're going to add a curves adjustment layer, curves, take the curves up, double click, and move the slider to minimize the range of the brightness shown. By moving the slider from left to right, you're basically deleting dark areas from the underlying layers in the current curves layer. Alter option click separates the sliders and it helps smooth everything out. Shift Command Option E creates a merged layer of the curves and the original. We can discard the curves and name the layer Dodge. Go to Image, Apply Image, and we'll subtract the original from the Dodge layer. Convert it to a smart object, and change the blend mode to soft light. Now I'm going to mask this layer. Black conceals, white reveals. So with the mask turned black, I select the layer and use my brush tool in the color white and paint on the image to slowly reveal the brightness. One of my biggest pet peeves are overly done photos, so I try my best to maintain the realistic, humanistic element to my photos. With eyes especially, a lot of times creators will over brighten them and they end up looking like headlights of a car at night, so definitely not my thing. I'm softly going over the areas that are catching light. I rather under edit than to over edit, and I can add more later. Alright, I'll leave that there for now, and I'll go ahead and create my burn layer. Same thing as before, curves adjustment, curves, and this time we'll bring the curves down. Reduce the lightness and the range, smooth it out. create a merged layer of the curves and original and discard the curves. Apply image, subtract the image from the burn layer, convert for smart filters, and change the blend mode to soft light. With this layer now masked, I will slowly reveal the dark areas where I want to emphasize the shadows. Finding a good balance between light and dark helps with bringing out dimension in photographs. One thing I forgot to do earlier was remove the telephone line behind her, so I'll go ahead and do that with the clone stamp. Despite the background being blurry, it's still made up of pixels that blend well together. With the clone stamp, you're copying and pasting pixels from one area to another, so you really need to make sure they blend in well. You'll see that I go over certain areas a couple of times over at different levels of opacity to help with that blending. Alright, here is the finished product. And here is the before and after. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like more videos like this, give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.